See, they keep looking at me.
Wake up, cuz.
I'm up. All right, it's time for Is You With It or Nah. So we got two new contestants. We got Mr. Jay-Z ain't loyal over here in the left corner, and then we got Mr. I'm gonna take a week off like Floyd take a year off. And whoa, see, I'm grumpy. It's cool though. All right, the topic is the NBA draft and their lottery process. Should it stay the same, or should they change it to discourage tanking? Because tanking is prevalent. Ask any LA Laker fan, ask any Phoenix fan, or as Philadelphia 76ers have coined the term, trust the process. I need a coin. I don't have a coin.
Look at that.
Ain't this about a...
Kenyon pick.
No, I got it. Just give me a second. I still got the quarter thing. There it is.
We need some Jeopardy music.
What you want? Who won it?
I want to know what the prize is. Heads. I want to know what the prize is since I'm a
right.
contestant.
It's heads.
Heads.
It's heads. What do I get to choose? I want to go last.
You have to choose the top.
I have to choose the top
position.
Oh, I think that they should change it.
So, who going first, Les?
Kenyon. I don't even know why that's the way it goes. Go.
Who got the timer?
I got the timer.
It's The Rock. Oh, sorry.
Ready? Go.
All right. Well, here's the deal, right? I think that they should change it because there is a more viable alternative out there. I don't believe in change for the sake of change, but what I would propose to discourage tanking specifically is you should make every team in the league, all 30 teams, have one lotto ball. So then that way, that eliminates the tanking. Now, some would say that the problem with that would be then you'd have a situation where, say, the Golden State Warriors could end up with the number one pick. And I think that dovetails perfectly with the culture that is presently in the NBA, which is building up the super teams. What it will then do is it will force general managers to have to make hard choices. Can you imagine if the Golden State Warriors had the number one pick this year and their choice is to either take Markelle Fultz or Lonzo Ball when they already have Steph Curry? How do you formulate your team? How do you build your team? And if you do decide to go with that choice and pick one of those point guards, you know for sure that in 2 or 3 years, either you're going to move on from Steph Curry or you're going to have to let your number one pick, Lonzo Ball, go. It would make the lottery experience much more exciting, which extends the length of the NBA season because of the fascination behind who's going to get that number one pick. It eliminates tanking. A lot of the arguments for wanting to keep things the same is that number one picks don't win championships, right? Getting the number one pick doesn't determine that you're going to get the championship. However, there are number 2 picks, there are number 3 picks, there are number 4 picks that you can get by participating in the lottery process. So it's not just about focusing on the first pick. And I think if you don't do something, you run the risk, which we've talked about before, of alienating fans and putting out a bad product, and also creating a culture of losing on your team. Change is necessary.
Change is not necessary.
All right. So now we got Brother Les. I'm going to start you up. 3, 2, 1.
All right. There is no reason to change the draft because the more losses does not guarantee you the highest draft pick. There's only been 3 times in the last 20 years that the worst record in the NBA received the number 1 overall pick, and the 2 of them were in the last 2 years. We have discussed in the past how it's a combination of organizations, coaches, and players that build a winner in the NBA. Well, it seems the same teams are in the lottery every single year. Teams make ill-advised trades. For example, let's take the Lakers and Suns, where it was beneficial for the Lakers to lose just to keep their draft pick, not just to get a high draft pick. Now, let's take a look at what tanking really gets these NBA teams. In the last 10 years, there were 47 starters that came from the lottery. That's 34%. There was 18 all-stars. So out of 140 players picked. So what are you tanking for? That's 13% of players become all-stars. There's only been 7 players that have won an NBA championship that was picked in the lottery in the last 10 years. And that's because of Cleveland and Golden State. One of the players was actually not even drafted by the team that won the championship, and that was Kevin Love. He was drafted by Minnesota, won it in Cleveland. So the lottery doesn't have to change because losing doesn't equal a higher draft spot, and then choosing the right player is even harder, an even harder thing to do. So even look at this fact. 20% of all the players that's been drafted in the last 10 years, which is 140 players in the lottery, 20% of them aren't even in the NBA anymore. So it doesn't need to change. Organizations just need to get better because tanking doesn't guarantee you anything. Matter of fact, you have a better chance of a higher percentage of picking a bust than a player that'll win.
So Devin was the timer. He's almost the host. And he's the motherfucking judge.
He's something like a gypsy.
Hey, man, I'm out here working, baby. I'm out here working. They need to turn the air on when this bitch is done. So I really didn't have any heads or tails about this going into it, right?
It's 2 good arguments, though.
It's 2 very good arguments. I like what Kenyon said about expanding that, trying something different, because if Golden State gets the first pick, they can flip that. However, I think Les made some very good points about the sorry ass trades that have happened. The players that have come through those doors.
Bringing my Lakers into this,
and I think that kind of makes me lean towards Brother Les for winning this debate.
Ding, 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 ding. Kenyon's not happy.
hey, you had me. But he dropped some knowledge though that really what it comes down to is the scouting in the NBA is fucking awful.
Yeah, but the problem is this though. The question was, how do you change the lottery to get rid of tanking? He didn't present anything to address tanking. He just talked about how the lottery as is should continue. Yeah. And I presented an actual solution, which...
He politicking for a win?
Yeah, that's what it sounds
That's
like.
straight up I am.
He put on the red power tie, had the American flag pin. Like, come on.